has the B I added first. I don't know if it makes a minute difference. And I put 10 milliliters of that in. I don't know if it makes a difference or not. So, but I've heard to mix B before A. I don't know. And then I'm just gonna prepare the A. And I'm gonna mix this in. Actually, I mixed the other one at 9, so I'm gonna mix this one at 8. And that should even it out just like that. I'm gonna shut this off. I'm gonna add it to the hole. I'm gonna turn it back on. And always secure your lids tight. This Advanced Nutrients loves to leak for some reason. In fact, I leave the gaskets right in them. The little gaskets that come in them, or else they'll leak all over hell. That little white gasket right there. It seems like everything seems to be leaking. So what we got here is we got about a light 460, 470. It says 6.2, but it's probably more along the lines of 6.8. It's out of adjustment. And I'm just going to have to pH that in a second. And then I'll go from there. But we'll let it mix for a little bit. In the meantime, we can clean up all this stuff. And I'll get to this needle later, actually. Alright, so it's about 480, 470. Seems to be mixing pretty good. You should probably wait, I would say. If I wasn't doing a video, I'd wait about 30 minutes and then I'd come back and check the pH. But I'm going to go ahead and check it now. Because it seems to be fairly stable, even though the numbers might be wrong. So, and I just, pretty simple. It's got a little vial here. Shut the pump off. Pop just the corner out. Fill the jar about halfway up. About 3 drops. Shake it. And then what we got is a comparison on the side of the jar. Whoops. And that looks fairly yellow, which is about 6.0, slightly green, about 6.5. So actually my meter is probably right about on. And that's not right for clones. I may add a little bit of pH down later, bring it down, but I usually try not to use pH down as much as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut some clones. Leave my cords in there for the meantime. And the first one I'm going to cut is going to be this K2 plant, which is this has been the one that's sort of OG Kush, like almost sour diesel more than anything like. But I'm going to take some nice healthy cuttings from it. I'm going to cut right below the inner node right there. I don't know if you can see that. And I don't know if you can see this, but what I'm going to do is just trim these leaves off. These are all pointless. And these scissors have been disinfected. Whoops, that may have been too much. And then these larger leaves, I'm going to go ahead and trim them down. They're a little bit too large. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this water right here. This water. And I'm going to stick my clone in it. I'm going to cut it right below the inner node. In diagonal action. I'm going to leave it in the water. Pull out my spacer. Pull out my spacer here. Slip it in there. Or 1 inch underneath. Put it in there. Slide it in a slot. And then just plug it back in, and that's how you take your clone. And notice how I didn't leave too many leaves on there. You want to leave, keep the leaves to a minimal. Forgot to close that. That'll squirt water all over it if you don't have this shut, snap tight. But that's that. That's basically how we clone. And it's all we simply used was just some bloom nutrients, some Super Thrive, and just regular water. And we didn't even use no pH down or up. We just used some fertilizers to bring our pH in the range, and everything was good. I'm going to go ahead and take all my other cuttings, fill all these, and I guess that's it for cloning. Also, I want to come back to one thing about the plants. There's a discussion about where to take cuttings from. Whether to take cuttings from the bottom of the plants or from the top of the plants. I know a lot of people argue about this. Basically, from what I've seen from my experience, sometimes cuttings from the bottom of plants are weak and straggly. They don't get much light. They don't produce roots that well. But also some side shoots from the side, they do produce. They're pretty good, nice size, shoot. They look really healthy. I would cut that. As long with top shoots like this, I would cut this too because it's very healthy. So basically, it doesn't. In my mind, it doesn't matter where it comes from, the top or the bottom. As long as this is a healthy clone, then it seems to turn out fine. And then also, I shall say, if you cut like side branches, they're going to most likely grow like side branches. If you cut top cola buds, they're going to grow similar if you cut a cutting like this, it's going to continue growing in a similar fashion. As opposed if you cut a stem that's growing out to the side. This one isn't really too much like that, but see if I can find one that's growing out to the side like this one. This cutting in here. This is going to continue that growth pattern. So, that's something to keep in mind when you cut your clones. I like to have mine like very Christmas tree, sort of unilateral growth, or not unilateral, but after they mature, they become bisymmetric or whatever. But the more symmetric the inner nodes, I like to go with anyway. Just like cola type buds. So. But yeah, like I said, I don't think it really matters whether it's a side shoot or a top shoot. As long as it's healthy, that's what matters. whether I'm growing in Rockwell or I'm cloning in, whether I'm cloning in Rockwell or I'm cloning in the area cloner, my clone rate is 100% every time. I rarely ever have a clone die. So I would just have to say that, you know, the process works. So, like I said, it's all about getting, you know, a lot of your leash trimmed down to a reasonable size, so you can fit so many clones in such a small space, and they all can have light. And you know, they're not going to want to grow foliage right away. They're gonna be growing roots right now, so they're not going to need a lot of foliage. They will need some to, you know, for photosynthesis to produce the energy to grow the roots. But for right now, that's probably fine right there. And I wouldn't probably make any of it larger than that. If you have larger leaves, like these ones, then I suggest cutting them off and just going with the center leaves here, and maybe even trimming off leaves like this, and I think you'll be fine. So it looks like it's been 22 minutes. I've been rambling on now, so I should probably let you go. I need to finish this up, and if anyone has any questions about cloning, give me a shout. One thing that I've done good at is cloning, and usually veggie and plants. So sometimes I've stumbled here and there in budding, but I'm definitely good at this. So if anyone has any questions or anything like that, let me know. So have a good day, and I'm signing off, and that's that.